his toe, he had bruises, he had cuts. They tried to tell me he did this drug and started acting erratically, and he cut his own head open, broke his own face up, bruised his own body from head to toe. This is just what they're telling me.
Wow.
This a week before his death.
Yeah.
So I'm inboxing you a picture.
That's the weekend up, maybe 2-3 days before he died.
Okay, Dr. Dare, I'm going to email you this picture or inbox it to you of Deshaun McQueen, and this is like 5 days before his death. 3 to 5 days, she said, roughly before his death, and you can see how healthy and happy and fine he is.
He was doing very good.
Picture.
Even the warden, when he contacted me, said what made him contact me when he got the call from the senator's office. He said, normally, you know, if they have a problem, they're going to say, oh, they're doing something, it's normally the inmate trying to cover up something they're doing. He said, look, I looked at your son's jacket. He said, in the 7 years, twice your son has been in this institution, he's never had a disciplinary report against him. He said, so that raised the concern with me. Right. That it ain't him, that it's got to be the officer. He said that out of his own mouth.
Wow. And who was that? That was
the warden told me that.
The warden. Okay.
Yeah. He said, so I know that your son can't be giving them no problem. You know, he said normally when stuff like that happens, they start trying to cover up stuff, they giving problems, but they inside the
they got a lot of DR.
They got a lot of DR. He said, but your son has been locked up 7 years, twice, and never had a disciplinary. He said that is astronomical or something.
It is.
He said, because no inmate,
especially with mental health issues.
right, he said no inmate can go that long without getting a disciplinary.
Wow.
Okay, and he was a schizophrenic inmate.
Well, bipolar
disorder. So my thing, and
they were withholding his meds.
Yeah.
He said they had started withholding his meds. That was on his last visit.
So yeah, when they withhold those meds, then you're gonna have episodes because.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for that.
But I asked the FDLE agent. I said, y'all said he was acting erratically. Was there any footage that you say you got?
That's right. That I could see.
Did they ever take my son off camera? He flat out said yes. He said when he started acting erratically, they went in the dorm, handcuffed him, and took him off campus. My son ended up dead when he went off campus. I said, first of all, I have proof that he was hog-tied.
Yes.
He said, no, he wasn't. He was dead. I said, no, the hell he wasn't. My son had ankle straps, burns on both his ankles, and on both his wrists, and around his waist. So that's a hog-tie.
Wow.
That's a hog-tie.
And I would just like to add something. This is Erlene. I'm the mother of Joe Fernandez, who is currently incarcerated there and telling me the same types of things that I read. I mean, Deshaun was my classmate and friend since I can remember. And I've known him for years. And when his death came about, I called the classification officer to check on my son because it was alarming. You know, my mom was like, ain't that where Joe is at? And I was like, yeah. And we were concerned because my son also has mental diagnoses, but my son has been refusing meds for the last few years because he told me that he would get beat up for not making it to the med line. Mm-hmm. My son was 14 years old when the state of Florida direct filed him to prison. I am a trained Department of Juvenile Justice therapist who had 18 and 19-year-olds on my caseload. I couldn't understand that. Right. I went to Tallahassee, spoke with the House of Representatives on direct filing and how juveniles need juvenile sanctions because in adult facilities, the rules and policies and procedures are different. So my concern was that my son wouldn't get adequate care. Right. So for those first 2 years, he didn't get school because of his behavior. because he was fighting, and he was, you know, unlike Deshaun, my son had an extensive behavior issues because he's conduct disorder, disruptive behavior disorder, mood disorder, situational depression. He has a lot of mental illnesses that weren't being taken care of.
Right.
So I would call the prisons and I would be like, okay, is he being seen by mental health? Or well, he's refusing mental health, but they tell me it's voluntary. How can you allow that to be voluntary? You gonna commit them, and you tell them they gotta stay there, and you tell them they gotta, when they eat and they sleep and they this and they that, but you gonna tell me you can't commit them to make sure that they take care of their mental health?
Right,
So
you're not gonna make sure their medication is compliant.
So that my son can have a better life, and your staff can have a better work environment when mental health is taken care of.
So
right now, Miss Denise is showing several different certificates that he received at Santa Rosa. Oh wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. He has a certificate. These are certificates that Deshaun received. He got a high school diploma. I'm gonna read you. He has the Impact of Crime on Victims program. I teach that program at my Department of Juvenile Justice program. It is an awesome and amazing program. He received that from Santa Rosa. He received an Achievement Award for understanding the Bible. He received an Achievement Award for Prisoners of Hope for successfully completing a 5-lesson series. He received a completion certificate on lessons learned in the Bible corresponding courses. He received a commercial Class B driver's license, his CDL license basically.
Wow.
He received another certificate that has to do with his CDL at Santa Rosa. He received a high school diploma, and he received a substance abuse 1 and 2 certificate. And as a therapist, I'm pretty sure you know the extension of these programs that we teach and that are designed to help an inmate be a better person and do things differently once they're released.
Right.
So with me, once I finally got an email response waiting because I decided not to call because I felt like they were provoking me, trying to make me seem like I'm belligerent and overreacting. But I explained to her that I'm concerned about my son's life.
Now say your son's name again.
My son's name is Joe Fernandez II. His DC number is P51276 and can be looked up on the Florida inmate site. But his picture will be on some signs and protesting in the Fort Walton Beach peaceful protest that will be held on the 22nd in Fort Walton Beach. So people will be able to see and hear a voice from my child because I don't want him to face these same things. And what I told the prison once they finally replied to me saying that my son was on the most restrictive level due to his behavior, I explained to her that I know exactly who my son is. I defined conduct disorder for her, disruptive behavior disorder for her, mood disorder for her, situational depression for her, and help her to understand that I know exactly who my son is. But how are you responding to who he is? And I'm asking that you handle him policy and procedure so that you don't kill my son. Because I know working in a facility with boys with these same diagnoses that you are the first model for them. You are the first person that they look to show them how to act. Because with certain mental illnesses, the manifestation of that is that they really don't know how to feel or how to act.
So you need to model. Someone needs to model that for them.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it needs to be consistent because mental health is like your eye color and your hair color. It does not change. It can be maintained with certain things in place, but it doesn't change. So my kid has no medication, he has no therapy because you're allowing him to refuse it because he feels like there's no helping you guys because you're calling him a faggot and a lowlife and a nigger every chance that you get, and you wonder why he's responding the way that he is. Wow. So I also let them know that blind people are not expected to see a picture, I don't care how beautiful it is.
Right.
Deaf people are not expected to hear music, I don't care how astoundingly it is composed. But you tell me a mental ill person, just because they look like you, are expected to think like you, and that is wrong.
Exactly.
We are selling our mental health community by expecting them to think like we think. They are not like us. They don't think like us.
They're
They're
sick.
different. They are different, and
Yeah.
they need a different set of rules. They're not traditionally thinking, and it's so upsetting that these people are in place that are not trained to deal with these mental illnesses. So they get mad and they get upset and they treat them like animals and try to break them like they're animals. My son said to me, Mama, they have done everything in here except kill me, Mama.
Wow.
Everything but kill me. But they telling me on the wing that they're going to bag me. If I get transferred, they said they're going to kill me on the bus. And with my friend passing away there in February, and on February the 11th, 2020, with these same complaints, you mean to tell me, as an institution and administration, I told that lady today in the email, have you went down and seen my son yourself? I don't care about camera footage. I'm not concerned with that. I'm concerned with, did you hear his voice? Did you ask if he's in despair? Did you ask if he is okay? Because my friend is dead. Exactly.
They take them off camera, they are beating them. I have proof of that because my cousin, which is the senator top, him and 4 other senators, 2 weeks after my son ended up dead, they did a pop-up visit unannounced. They opened the doors of that institution up and went through every inch of that institution.
Mm-hmm.
He called me back about 4 hours later, and he said, Denise, I just want to call you, and I got one thing to say. You were right. They killed your son.
Wow.
He said, I got a couple of inmates that actually, we took all them off camera so that we contained the officers so they wouldn't know who was saying what.
That's right.
So they wouldn't retaliate. He said, I have reports and the names of these 2 inmates that seen everything. They seen them beat your son, and they thought they had broke his neck, but his neck was still intact. But he had a lot of bruises.
Yeah.
Okay? He said everything that was in Monte's emails, because my son, I have emails with inmate names, they family names, they DC numbers. He was telling everything that they could contact or talk to, who they could talk to vouch for his story.
Amen.
And he was telling them how they were beating those inmates, how they were feeding them. He said, Mama, I've been locked up 5 times, and I've never, ever had no problem doing my time. He said, but this is the worst. He said, this is not even real. He said, this is a nightmare. I've never been this scared in an institution to do my time. He said, I want to go home, or I want to get out of here, because I'm not going to live if I don't get away from this institution.
Amen. And Dr. Dare, I would like to say, this is Erlene again, Joe Fernandez's mom.
Okay.
I would like to say that being a trained therapist, and I know you mentioned earlier in the broadcasting that you're a therapist in Atlanta, you understand that the manifestation of these disabilities, a lot of times they don't have a conscience and they don't have fear.
Right.
They don't necessarily have any fear. So for our sons, both of them, to be the type of character that fears nothing and to tell you that they're scared for their life.
Right.
Can you imagine a parent going through that and these people that are talking to you and talking to you crazy? I'm like, honey, you can't, don't tell me my son is. I don't
They talk to them.
Wow.
He said they talk to them like they are like a bunch of animals. He said they call them faggots, bastards, niggers, punks.
No lie.
He said they don't call them nothing. He said they never call their real name. He said this is how they talk to them. And they tell them, you can call if you want to call, we don't care who you would care to or whatever, we run this joint. Ain't that gonna happen to us. I got all these emails.
Wow.
That's just how bad it is over there. And my cousin and those senators they know, because they went in there unannounced. They had the dorm that happened to my son. I knew the bed number and the dorm my son slept in.
Let him know that he recorded camera numbers and everything.
Listen, Morgan has my case.
Wow.
My son, I went and got his property. They say, oh, they don't give out no inmate property. Oh, I got my son's property. But I asked FDLE, did he have my son's property? He told me, yes. This is the same day. He lied. They still had my son's property and my son's personal tax. And I told them, I am 30 minutes, less than 28 minutes from your institution. And I'm on my way there, and all my son's property that's left. And that tablet that'll be in that property. And when I got there, they gave me that tablet that was on the top. He had already told me, mind you, I got receipts. Ms. Erlene will tell you, I showed him because my son, he documented detail for detail. He was so precise. He documented the camera number, where it was located in the institution, what time they threatened him, when they went on camera, off camera, every step that he made in that institution is on paper. I got it in black and white because he wrote it.
Wow.
And even my attorney said, this is so detailed. That's another agreement.
I'm reading.
This is another detail. He said, I've never seen nobody detail that much. Basically solving their own murder before it happened.
Amen.
Exactly.
Amen.
So let me stop you. Let me stop. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to let you know that that's when I visited Miss Denise. This is Erlene again, Joe Fernandez's mom. When I visited Miss Denise, because these are the same avenues that I was taking, because being a professional and being in the Department of Juvenile Justice and a resourceful individual, I have my master's in human services, so I'm like, okay, they can't do this. This is not, this ain't real.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe this. And I came to visit Miss Denise. She said, come and please let me show you how my son told me every single thing. And I said, because my son, since he's been at Santa Rosa, has not been on a level to be able to receive his tablet. Because unlike Deshaun, my son does have a history and a jacket of getting in trouble and fighting and disciplinary. No, it doesn't constitute death ever. And that's what I told them in the email that I sent them. It's not how the mental health patient, because they're patients, your client is acting. It's how you're reacting to how your client is acting.
Right.
And if your client is that kind of miserable and that kind of upset, it's something that you may be doing wrongly and improperly, and you have to go back to the table and go to your DSM-4 or your DSM-5
Exactly.
and really serve this mental health illness, but they don't believe in it, and they feel like, oh, they're just an asshole. Nobody wants to be mentally ill.
Right.
Just like nobody wants to be deaf or blind or can't walk or cripple. Nobody wants to be that way.
And the thing about it is, if you go Miami Herald, Jacksonville News, and I think there's a story in Sarasota, they all did stories on inmates of their city, and they all are the same scenario.
I think I saw that. And then I think
detail for detail.
Yeah.
Because they were writing grievances, they were warning their family that they were going to do something to them, and they ended up dead.
Wow.
All these guys, they died from those, and they finding drugs in their colon and stuff.
Wow.
They're not eating this drugs. All of them ain't eating the drugs.
Wow.
And you told me before you even got a tox report or an autopsy, after you had the same day he died, you told me what the cause of death was. So that told me right there, you already had that written up to say that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And Miss Denise is the reason, because she posted a letter from Deshaun, and I don't know if she remembers that's online,
Yeah,
that said that they were putting stuff in his food.
Yeah.
My son is claiming the same exact thing.
That's the thing. I used to send my son anywhere from $100 to $175 every
I just sent
month.
mine $60.
Every month. So he could eat. He would not eat. He didn't want to eat that food.
Exactly.
Okay?
Wow.
So during this time, right before he got off the phone with me and a friend of his, a close friend of his, he said, it's child time. That's the last time I talked to my son. They said when he ate that food or drank his whatever they gave him, that's when he started acting erratic. I asked FDLE, did you ever see my son go off somewhere to seclude himself? He's in an open bay dorm at 4 or 5 o'clock in the day. The door is open, the officers are on the floor. So you're not gonna tell me he smoked some bad dope in front of the police and killed himself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They fed it to him.
So in closing this out, because I'm running out of time. What are you guys doing as far as advocating for them? I heard some protests and
We're
us
setting up some dates
okay.
To go ahead and start doing some protests.
Peaceful
protests. But I have to consult with my attorney, and I had to get an approval that it was okay to do it.
Right.
Because this is a high-profile case.
Right.
So I have to make any moves. I have to consult with them.
Right.
That's the reason. Well, I didn't get the okay, so I got the okay today. Then it's okay, I just can't give details.
Right.
And once she got that approval, this is early, once she received that approval, I called the city manager's office here in our town. Because my thing is, yes, Deshaun is deceased. My son is still breathing.
Right.
And I told my city manager that I'm contacting you because he will be a citizen of your community once released. November 4th, 2021 is his release date.
Mm-hmm.
And you should have a concern in his life and how he acts. Because when he's released, he'll be around your grandma, my grandma, your kids, my kids.
Right.
So if they're treating him like an animal and they're not treating his mental health issues, he's going to have issues that we're going to receive as a community. As a community, we need to be concerned about how they're treating him as an inmate there with these diagnosed disabilities that he's been diagnosed with since he was 12 years old.
But with no consistent medication, because they're not
Absolutely.
giving it to him.
Absolutely.
But the thing they're putting him through and the stuff they're substituting him to.
Makes it worse.
Yeah, because just like my son, I got agreed to one agreement, he said they stripped all his clothes off, butt naked.
Oh my God.
Put him out in the rain and storm. It was storming, thunder, and lightning one day. Put him out there in the rain by himself on the door and locked the door and left him out there in the storm all day butt naked.
Oh,
That's
Lord.
awful.
That's
He told me they took all his clothes, wouldn't give them back, and he didn't lie because when I got his property, I bought him plenty clothes. I sent him plenty of money. I got receipts where he bought those clothes. I ain't got no clothes out of his property.
Wow.
No sweatshirt. I got 2 sweatshirts, a pair of boxers, and that's it.
No.
So he walked around naked.
Exactly.
Wow.
No.
Well, ladies, like I said, my time is running out, but I just wanted to thank y'all for sharing those stories.
And we thank you.
We thank you, Dr. Dare. We appreciate you giving us an exclusive interview to get on this platform and share our stories. We really appreciate that.
Yes, and thank y'all, and I'll be praying for y'all and that everything works out. And I will be contacting y'all because I want to get actual names so I can write them down in my post. But just thank you for sharing those stories, and God bless y'all.
Thank you, and hopefully this will get out there.
Exposure,
and
exactly.
get some exposure about it.
It will. It will. That's why I need those names too, so I can put them into the notes.
Okay, thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
God,
I know that's right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was the Dr. Dare Show. Thank y'all for listening. As you can see, we talked about Santa Rosa from the beginning of what was supposed to be and to what the reality was for these folks. Thank you for listening to this show. Make sure you subscribe and share this video and click the little bell at the bottom to get the updates. And we will be praying for this families and hoping all is well. Have a blessed weekend and a blessed week.